How's it going, guys? My name is Voss, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. It's really cold. I'm in Michigan. I actually came up for the auto show yesterday, which was really awesome. So if you haven't already, go check that video out. But today I'm in the all-wheel drive Challenger GT, and we're gonna find out if it's truly worth it, if it's a good. Dodge Challenger GT, which means it's the all-wheel drive variant, which comes fitted with a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, as well as 305 horsepower, 268 foot-pounds of torque. I'm not going to get into all the numbers. You can look that up elsewhere. I'm going to give you kind of the important ones, get behind the wheel, tell you how it is to drive, if it's truly a good all-wheel drive daily driver. I know this has got a curb weight of right around 4,100 pounds, so it's not a light vehicle by any means, and Dodge really, they kind of started the all-wheel drive variants with the Chargers, and because of how popular the Challengers have been, they moved it over to that, and overall very good. I think you can only get this in the 3.6, so hopefully they'll make a V8 variant, but for right now the 3.6 is all you got. But that being said, it's got plenty of power for a daily driver, so let's just see how it does. So here's my first drive ever. I've never even driven or been in a I've been in an older Challenger. I've never been in the new ones with this body style, and they look really good. They've definitely stepped their game up. Overall, Dodge was one of the few muscle cars, at least Challenger was one of the few muscle cars that kept kind of that muscle car look. The Mustang and the Camaro, they look good, don't get me wrong, but definitely, they definitely don't look like the classic muscle cars. Dodge definitely kept that look for the Challenger, so props to them. But yeah, this will kind of be my first drive impressions review with the Challenger, and it's weird that it's all-wheel drive. When you think of a Challenger, you definitely think rear-wheel drive V8, but the all-wheel drive seems to be doing well. It definitely sells, it's popular, people like it as a daily driver, so I'm gonna give you kind of my impressions. It's got a good bit of power, and it just snowed a lot yesterday in Michigan, so the roads are still not truly clear. I'm not gonna unlock the full power of this thing, but I'll give you kind of a little bit of power here and there and see how it drives, how it handles, and I mean, it's not bad. It's very, the ride is very smooth, it's comfortable, the suspension feels really good. So, you know, this being a daily driver, comfortability is going to be probably the most important thing, and so far, not too bad. Definitely very comfortable. Like I said, it rides well. It's such a large vehicle. It does feel like I'm in a, it feels, for a coupe, it feels large. It does not feel nimble at all, but I know you can get a lot of options with this thing that have I'll put some B-roll footage here, but the center display, it's an 8.4-inch infotainment system, and there's a lot of connected apps, and you can control just about everything you need to from here. You can even check the Dodge performance pages. You can get into, you can go to timers, you can set the gauges, the G-force, it's all customizable, so it's props on Dodge for including that. It's very, very cool. This being the 3.6 and all-wheel drive, it is a little heavier than, you know, if you were to get a 3.6 and a rear-wheel drive variant, and 0 to 60 happens in 6 seconds. That's a conservative number. I've seen numbers in the higher 5s as well, so it's not slow. It's got some zip to it, it's got some power, but, you know, for something that you're going to drive every day, you don't need it to be the fastest thing on the road. You just want to have some fun, which this does a very good job of doing so. Dodge really did do a very good job with this connected drive system. Everything is laid out very easily. With a little bit of time, you can really figure it all out. Sport mode's pretty nice. It definitely tightens the car up a little bit. I like this being a coupe, kind of being more of a sportier daily vehicle. I like when the wheel is tight, and when you put it in sport mode, it definitely tightens up that wheel a little bit. The entire car feels a little tighter, a little more responsive for sure. And I mean, overall, very good first impressions. For something I'm going to be driving every day, this would be a great vehicle. It's large, it's spacious. For, you know, 2 people, it's comfortable. It's rather large. I don't know how the trunk space is, the cargo space is, but for how big this thing is, I'm sure it's pretty good. I'll put some footage of it. But yeah, no, not a bad daily driver, and it's got a little bit of power, and it doesn't sound too bad either. You can also see a lot of the quick access features right in the center of the gauges. So the gauges are analog, but they did keep a center section that's fully digital, and you can scroll through it. You can see how quick you're going, vehicle info, the all-wheel drive settings. You can check tire pressure monitor settings, and it gives you a live readout of the speedo as well. Very, very nice for them to include that in here. There's a lot of features in here that definitely make this a very nice everyday driver. Going through the center display, when you do go to the apps, you do get launch control. You can adjust the drive mode. You can set up the sport mode to see what comfortable you want. So when you press the button, it'll turn on the features you like. Overall, very, very good. So, you know, putting in sport mode, it does feel very connected, and just a good driving experience for something that I don't need it to be the fastest thing on the road, but I want to have fun. I still want to be reliable. This definitely caters, you know, being in Michigan, this definitely caters to the mass market of most people that walk into a Dodge showroom aren't going to be like, hey, winter's coming up, let me get a Scat Pack or let me get a Hellcat. Everything's right at your fingertips, very easy to use. They really didn't bog you down with a lot of physical buttons. They've left a lot of those on the screen. So they have kind of the quick access buttons here, but everything else can be done on the screen. One of the best parts of this is it's got a heated steering wheel, and you know, that was a really thought after thing by Dodge, because this is a lot of people's daily drivers. And we're in Michigan right now. This morning it was 0 degrees, and my phone said 0 degrees with a wind chill and a real feel of -17. So now how true that is, I'm not sure, but when it does get to that kind of weathers, having something like that is very, very nice, and very, very good on Dodge for putting that in, and just how easy to use everything is in here. Another feature I really like in here is, actually, it's not just here. I believe Dodge is doing this more with all their vehicles, but if you click the X2 button 2 times, it actually starts your car. Now, the owner was telling me that the range on it is terrible, so I think it's about 50 feet. So now if you're parked out somewhere far away, it might not be useful, but if this is on your driveway, if this sits outside, to be able to, you know, wake up, look out the window, press that, and turn your car on and get it heated up before you even step outside, it's a huge win. And more manufacturers need to be doing that. The seats in here are very nice. They're big, they've got a lot of padding. You know, it's not a performance-oriented vehicle, but it does have some of the sportiness of the bigger brother Challengers and whatnot. The bolstering is really good on these seats. The leather feels nice. It feels premium. I've been driving this for a half hour now, and my back doesn't hurt at all, unlike my M3, where my back starts killing me after a little bit. And overall, very good on Dodge for putting in very comfortable seats for basically a touring all-wheel drive vehicle. And now that I've given you some of the features I like, some of the things I don't like, and I haven't driven this a whole lot to say I hate something in here, but I was talking with the owner, and one of the biggest things he was talking about was when it's really cold at night and then you go to open your doors, this being the coupe, my M3 does too, the windows roll down just a hair so you can get in, and when you close it, they go back up. If it's really cold, they'll come down and then they won't come back up, or they'll get stuck. So then you have to wait for it to warm up before it starts rolling back up. So that could be a major inconvenience, because if they get stuck being down and you're driving around, you're gonna hear whistling, you're gonna hear a lot of road noise, which is gonna take away from the driving experience. Another thing that, it's not that I hate it, but it's not my favorite, is where these where the opening is for the doors, like the handles. When I rest my hand on the handle, I kind of wish, I've been used to so many vehicles just kind of being integrated with the armrest. This is kind of underneath, so the very first few times I've been getting in and out of here, it definitely was an adjustment for me to figure that out, and I'm just like, okay, it's not up here, it's down below. So it's just kind of weird for them to throw it down there. And this is a large vehicle. These doors are very large. They're very long, they're heavy, so you kind of, I don't like slamming doors, but you almost want to close this one harder than you would think, because by closing it, like if it was a soft closed door or anything like that, it's not gonna close. It's just gonna stay open. So you definitely need to put some force to it. Okay, so we're basically wrapping up this video, but what I want to do, before I give this car back, You know, it is a Challenger. It does have all-wheel drive. It is advertised as a, you know, good daily snow vehicle. So we're gonna get to an empty parking lot and we're gonna see how it handles. I'll put a GoPro up top, get some extra footage, and let's just see how the Challenger even does in the snow. And I mean, yeah, we're in a parking lot which doesn't look like it's really been plowed. I'd say there's about an inch, maybe 2 on the ground, a little bit of dusting. So let's just see how it does and see how the Challenger handles. So, you know, I'm kind of giving it a little bit here and there. First impressions, you know, if you have extreme weather, traction control definitely kicks on immediately. Not a bad thing if you know, if you're worried about driving the snow. Definitely a lot of understeer. Slower speeds is okay for, you know, drifting, whatnot. ABS kicks in immediately. It does really well, but there's definitely a good bit of understeer. So, but I mean, it does pretty well. It's not too bad for an all-wheel drive car. I'm pretty impressed with it so far. So we just, well, not me, but the owner did a little bit of snow drifting, and I wanted to really see how it handled in the snow. Overall, pretty good. If you have traction on, it's definitely gonna kick in really quickly. But for a little bit of drifting here and there, not too bad. If you turn traction off, I'm sure it's gonna do a lot better, but definitely a lot of understeer. It definitely wants to do that a lot, and it kind of wants to, I feel like even the slightest bit and it's okay, but a little too much speed, and it definitely is a little bit harder to do that with, but not too bad. The all-wheel drive is really nice. It works rather well. I'm gonna turn this corner and see how it does with a little bit of power. Okay, so there's snow on the ground, but it handles okay. It handles rather well, so not too bad. But you know what, this thing has been very, very impressive. I'm actually for a, you know, quote-unquote muscle car, to have all-wheel drive, daily drivability, reliability, comfortability in all one package, it's pretty much unheard of. None of the other muscle cars are gonna offer an all-wheel drive. Maybe there's an all-wheel drive Mustang. I'm not 100% sure on that, but for right now, I think Dodge is definitely taking that one, and it's been very impressive. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, turn that notification bell on, share this video. It was in the negative degrees today, and this owner was very nice to let me drive his vehicle and make a review, so share it. If anybody is interested in the Challenger GT, definitely go check it out. I think it makes a great daily driver. Couple things here and there that were so minimal that if I had to nitpick, I can say I don't like, but overall the experience was great, very comfortable. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.